Welcome back to Tell Me More on Run Radio. My name's Trina Wilcox, and I'm joined by Amity Farr from Simplify Life. Hello.
Hi, Trina. Thanks for having me on here today.
No problem. I love our chats, and you've been doing so much with Simplify Life this past summer, especially. So tell me more about what you've been doing, what's going on, and some updates as to how things are moving along.
Okay, well, Simplify Life at its heart has always been about revolution, about independent thinking, and about change. Somewhere along the way, I got pegged as an organizer, and the clients that I worked with were lovely human beings. I loved helping them. It was so fulfilling, but it wasn't the mission and vision that I had in mind for Simplify Life. So over the summer, what I've done is I have started phasing out strictly organizing clients, strictly budgeting clients. And so now I am creating a coaching package that is more holistic. And so clients going forward will be taught three things: how to adopt minimalism, how to be frugal, and also how to live more sustainably on this planet, which is very much my heart of my business. So I'm so excited. I've already got 5 clients that want these kind of services, and they are doing amazingly well and getting benefit from it. And so am I. So that's the main thing that's going on with Simplify Life this summer. And I am so excited about it.
That's good. It's kind of frustrating when you are able to do something, but then that starts to become your niche or what you're known for when that's not really your intention. So how did you come to realize, hey, this is turning down the wrong path, I need to redirect?
So Simplify Life is all about lifestyle. It's not about image. And with influences like the home edit, people who are wanting organizing services are wanting picture perfect pantries or color coded closets. That's all well and good, and I can certainly do that. But I'm not about creating a picture perfect image. I'm about teaching how things are done differently to improve standards of living for yourself and for others on this planet. And so Simplify Life has been a revolution. That's what it started out as. That's what it's continued as being. But when people would ask me, Amity, what do you do? I would tell them, and then they would say, oh, that's great. What do you do? And so I would say, well, I organize and declutter people's homes. I'm a decluttering coach. And that went over only so far in explaining what I did. And so being pegged as an organizer for the last year and a half or so, and getting away from being known as an educator and a coach, really brought on clients who were wanting different things. They were great to work with, but it's just, I wanted to work with people who really want an overall transformation, and along the way want more time, more money, and less stress.
And you feel like that less stress, you've experienced that by minimalizing and decluttering. And you also respect that that looks differently for everybody. I feel like that's something very important for everybody to know. It's like an exercise program. One size does not fit all. Same with eating styles and all of that. You can be healthy, but have a different eating pattern as your neighbor. And can you kind of elaborate on that? Because I feel like people clench up when they think, I'm going to have to let go of everything I love. And that's not what you're getting at.
No, so minimalism looks different for everyone. The NFL linebacker is going to have a very different version of minimalism than a homemaker, but they're still equally valid. So there's many manifestations of minimalism, not one size fits all. And it's one of those things of, when you're there, when you are at your perfect level of stuff, and when you have arrived and when you have achieved what you wanted to achieve. And once you do that, it's yours and nobody can take that from you. And you can't listen to people saying, oh, if you don't own 100 things, you're not a minimalist. Or, oh, if you don't have 33 items in your wardrobe, you're not a minimalist. It's not that at all. It's very individualized, very unique. And there's also room to be very sentimental in what you keep. So it's not about just going and destroying everything.
How do you help an individual define what it is for them?
So I don't think I can, but how I help is just to walk them through, ask them questions. Why are you keeping this? Does this serve you? Does this bring you joy, as Marie Kondo would say? Is this useful and or beautiful to you? Those are the kind of questions to start with. Later on down the road, if they're having a harder time letting go of what they are unsure of, you can ask, if you had to replace this item, would you pay full price again for it? Or this is one that I heard recently, if you spilled red wine on the item, would you bother to clean it up?
Oh,
yeah. And that will give
interesting.
you insight on how important is it to you at that time. You can even ask yourself, is this important to me enough that I would pay double to have it again? And so questions like that can really help people decide, is this a want? Is this a need? Is this serving me? Is it not? And they can make their decisions based on that.
Okay. I've heard you talk, at least personally, me and you've talked about doing your personal home purges, and you'll do that on a scheduled regimen for what looks good for you. Now, I know that there have been times where I don't want to deal with this right now, and in a drawer it goes. The next thing you know, you do have stuff piled up that's not important, not useful. So how do I know when I need to get back to that? Is there a good way to keep that cleaned out front of mind, those regular routines
So
for the beginner?
when you get to purging, I think that maintenance becomes everything. And so it's one of those things, I don't know if everybody works this way, but I know if I shove something under my bed, I have shoved something under my bed.
Okay.
And I know it's going to be there. It's going to bother me. And I will never escape knowing that I took the shortcut. So maintaining and building systems to maintain your home is so important. And it really comes down to like the daily routine and the daily habits. And also for everything in your home, I think it should have a home within the home. And so like the scissors should go back where the scissors live. And if you maintain that structure, then the rest of it is a cinch. And there's about 5 to 7 things that I do on a daily basis to make my home perfect at the end of the day. And for instance, I clean my kitchen, which doesn't take me horribly long. I sweep the floors, I scoop the cat litter, I put away the clothes, and I also feed the cats and change their water. And those 5 core things done daily really help my home from ever becoming atrocious. And I keep little enough stuff that resetting the living room takes less than 5 minutes. Cleaning up the dining room takes less than 2 minutes. So when the stuff has been dealt with and the decisions have been made to let go, and the reductions have been made, then maintaining what remains becomes so easy.
Now, what are your tips for a big family to apply that? Because when you start getting 2 and 3 kids who all have different, I guess, learning lifestyles, if you will, it can be a challenge for them to remember scissors go here or toys go here, books go here. So what kind of tips can you offer for the family that's just spread thin in the first place with very little time to check all the boxes?
Well, sometimes I would recommend starting a drinking habit.
Probably not
Seriously,
the best, but okay, wine for everybody.
children, oh my goodness, I don't have children of my own. And so this is a point where I refer to other people and what works for other people to really get expert advice from other sources, because I just don't have the life experience that helps me to know what to do. But my friends have given me insight, just structure. And in a large family, everybody needs to be doing something. Nobody needs to be allowed to sit on the couch all evening and not do part of the housework. Like, for parents, delegation is key. And so, even the small children, they can do something. Maybe they don't do anything useful and you have to do it again once they're in bed, but they need to feel like they're helping. They need to know that that is expected of them to pitch into the household chores and the daily maintenance. But, little kids especially are like tornadoes, and they can undo in 5 minutes what takes my client and I 2 hours to do. And I've watched it happen. It's amazing. But just starting it early with the children and letting them know that there are places to find things. Things need to go back. You don't need to eat in every room of the house. Like, those small things and small rules go a long way for maintaining order.
Yeah, as they start making it habit, it doesn't have to happen overnight, but it can be something the family grows into if it's new for them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what else have you been doing with Simplify Life? Have you taken on any personal challenges?
Yes, I have.
Okay, pray tell.
So in 2019, before the glorious pandemic, my household put out about one bag of trash, and we're talking garbage bag, but one garbage bag of trash every 2 months. And it was to the point that our trash service notified us that when we wanted our trash picked up, we would need to call them, because they were tired of, having us on the regular route and not having anything to pick up. So every time that we have trash, we call now. But the pandemic ruined that for us. And we were having to go on regular trash service at the time. We had to get away of recycling and dealing with our trash, because the recycling centers in our city were closed, and we used that free resource in Springfield to take care of the bulk of our trash during those formative years. So anyway, now that we're pretty much back on a rhythm of life, I have started reducing my waste intentionally again. And for those that are curious, follow me on Facebook on Simplify Life's page. I talk a lot about trash audits, zero waste swaps, what things without plastic I'm using in my daily life. And so it's just been a fun journey to share with everyone, trying to get back to how good we were in the beginning. And so what I've found is I've made a few edits that I didn't have back in 2019. I bought a TerraCycle box, which that has been amazing. TerraCycle is a wonderful company that specializes in recycling the unrecyclable. And so the really hard items to do anything with, except for sending to a landfill, that's what they specialize in. And so, like, coffee bags, crouton bags, little bits of plastic, like the rings from oat milk containers, that little thing that keeps it sealed. Those things can go in the TerraCycle box, and they promise that they're going to do their best with it when I send it back to them. So with that box, with shopping differently in the stores, trying not to bring plastic home at all whenever possible, I have recently made my kitchen trash bag, which is a little bag. It's probably 2.5, 3 gallons containing power. So anyway, that bag has lasted over 6 weeks now. It's about to be finished, but this is by far the best we have ever done on our kitchen trash. So I need to be clear, though, that in addition to the kitchen trash, we also have 2 adorable fur children, which are cats, and they use the litter box on a frequency. And so we have also been putting cat litter in the trash. But I think we're on week number 3 now of not having our trash picked up at all. So, and there's still plenty of room in the outside garbage bin. So
Does it stress you out, or do you just feel like it's a challenge that you're totally up for? I feel like that would
I feel like
stress
it's
me
a
out.
fun challenge. Like, it's kind of along the lines of frugality in a way. Like, you
Uh-huh.
can bear so much saving money and buckling down and scraping by if you view it as a sport. And so I do the same thing with zero waste. It's just kind of a fun thing to see, how far can I go? You know, how little can I create? How much can I, you know, get by without? So it's been a good experience so far. And CJ has been very helpful with it and very accommodating too. So that's been fun.
One of my favorite things to do is when we've got like about 5 things, you know, that odd number amount where you could just carry them out or toss them in a purse, but you still have to carry them. And I'm like, here, David, that's my husband. And I'm like, here, you carry these. And so we're all just carrying these weird items out just so I can say no to the bag. Been known to do that once or twice.
That's terrific. I love that.
It's like, I don't care. I'm not bringing home another bag. Or they'll start to double bag it. And I just know I'm not going to need that double bag. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. There's been times though that's almost caused a problem.
Yes, you do have to be careful. You know, with the frugality thing, I save my receipts, bring them home and post everything. And sometimes like, Walmart or Target receipt, I'll need to itemize out of that receipt. You know, if I've bought hair stuff and cat food and, you know, groceries or whatever. So if it's a mixed receipt, then I kind of have to break it up. So I love checking myself out on the self-checkout, because when I use, you know, checkers, sometimes they have their own way of checking things through, and I've got my stuff neatly grouped together. And so it all gets mixed up. But yeah, you're right. Like sometimes it's not worth it. And I don't really have a hard and fast rule knowing when that is appropriate and when you need to yield. But sometimes it can make somebody's day harder to insist upon a certain way. And sometimes it's just not worth the fight to spare the little thing, you know?
You are right. You are right. The cashiers are working hard most of the time. So yeah, I try not to completely be like, move over. I know what I'm doing. Not the case. But yeah, if I feel like I don't need excess on the packaging, I will try to politely decline. But what other tips can you give us folks that might not be ready for zero waste, but definitely want to be more conscious of what we're bringing into the house that we just don't need?
Okay, that's great, Trina. So Bea Johnson, who is one of my very few heroes in this life, she is considered the zero waste priestess, and her book, Zero Waste Home, is definitely something to check out. It's a how-to guide on how to reduce waste substantially in a modern American home. And so Bea had what she calls the 5 R's. Okay. And the 5 R's are refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. And so for those just starting out who are not ready to sink a bunch of money into plastic-free options or to go the eco-friendly route all the time, simply refusing what you do not need is so huge. Because when we buy something, we are saying, yes, please make another. And so if we can stop the demand for these excess items, then that will shift things. And so the first R of the 5 R's is to refuse. And it's the biggest impact that you can make. And it's also the hardest one to make, because, you know, it's so automatic what we do as consumers. And, you know, it'll get you before you even realize it. Just like, I want a coffee. Well, there you go. You just acquired a plastic cup and or a straw if it's iced. And so it just sneaks up on all of us, but it's very important. And the first one to refuse is the biggest challenge and the biggest victory.
Cool. All right. Anything else you can think of that we can all be doing that is just a no-brainer?
Just be mindful. Like, it's interesting, Trina, if you go to your own kitchen and just start opening up the doors and just observing how much is plastic in here with the food prep, with your, you know, utensils that you cook with, how much of it is plastic. Just becoming aware of it is the primary thing. Then also go to your bathroom and see, you know, what What is the packaging on the products that you're using? And then just slowly becoming committed to doing differently as you can and as you can afford to. I think that just the awareness is really key for being able to implement successful changes later.
I think you just hit the great phrase, do differently. It's just doing small things differently. It doesn't have to be a big, cumbersome overtaking. It shouldn't feel stressful, and you shouldn't feel guilty if, you took the plastic fork. My goodness, just do differently. Think, oh, I did that. This is in my routine to naturally do that. How could I do it different next time? Just
Mhm.
little things like that. And I think it will all be doing great things for Parent Earth. So thanks
Yeah,
for,
I think grace is huge. I think we all need to give ourselves grace. I mean, the culture that we built is just so against sustainability in most all of its practices. And so, I've been at this since 2015, trying to actively reduce my waste in my home. And, I still get the plastic silverware sometimes. I still get the drinking straw. And there are things that, I totally blow. And it's just one of those things of you've got to just say, well, maybe next time,
Mhm.
and always have it in your mind that you can do better the next time and just commit to that.
All right. Tell folks where they can go to get more information from you or schedule a consultation.
So my website is simple, like the word simple, fly, like go fly a kite, and life, like the life we are living.com. And I am also a presence on Facebook under the page Simple Fly Life. So it's simple like the word simple, fly like go fly a kite, and life like the life we are living. So reach out to me. I would love to connect.
Very good. And we'll also have a link at runradio.net. Thanks, Amity.
Thank you, Trina. Have a wonderful day.
You too.